Hey, how's everybody doing there today? So I've tried to make this video here a few times, but it's kind of been one thing or another between the rain, um, too much road noise, too much wind noise. Um, so I figured I would make the video here in the car. So I crossed over into the United States yesterday from Mexico. So that process there, I drove to Matamoros. I parked the car, of course, in the wrong spot because you just don't know. So to return the vehicle, you have to go back essentially to the same place that I went to get the permit, the declaration area. You got to park there, go inside, give them your original paperwork for your import permit. And they literally just came outside. They checked the VIN number. I didn't have to take anything out of the vehicle. When I exited, they asked me if I was leaving Mexico, what was in the car, but they didn't physically check anything. So that was good. That saved me a lot of time from last time. So, and then it was about a little over an hour and 15 minutes, or maybe an hour and a half, on the bridge in the U.S. side. They asked me a couple questions, but that was it, right? So, pretty straightforward. I did spend the day in Breezewood RV Park. It's over there in Brownsville. It's a pretty good place. It's 36 a night for hookups with electric and water, right? So that was pretty decent, right? So pretty good night's sleep, nothing too crazy, right? Anyway, so I thought I would make 2 videos, right? One, the top 5 reasons to visit Mexico, and the top 5 reasons maybe not to visit Mexico, right? And I will say, I mean, I've had difficulty coming up with 5 things to not visit Mexico. It is a great country. Don't believe everything you hear in the news or see in the movies. That is completely false, at least in my experience. Have I visited every single city in Mexico? No. But I can tell you from the 5.5 months that I was greeted with nothing but warm people, helpful people, and great food, and amazing culture. So we'll start off here. I guess we'll start off with the 5 negative things about Mexico that I've encountered. So the first thing I would say are topes, or speed bumps. These things are just, destructive, not only to your vehicle, but to your psyche. You see that tope sign of a vehicle climbing this speed bump, and that's exactly what it is. And you instantly get fear. Like, where is this thing? How many? How high is it? You instantly get paranoid. And look, I don't know if that's the objective, but that is definitely the result. And I'm not the only one, because everybody I've run into hates topes, is paranoid about them. So I cannot stress, my dislike of topes. And the road to Palenque from the wind farm, that was just brutal. That just almost broke me. Thank God it didn't break the car. So topes, number 1, right? Anyway, so the number 2, I would say, is having anything shipped to Mexico. I did try and have a family member ship me some items from the United States, and make a long story short, it just didn't work out. So UPS, you get a negative mark on that. So really, really difficult. I know some people have said, hey, it's better to have a contact in the U.S., walk the package across, go to a local DHL place, and then get that shipped to you. That's great, but I don't have somebody that lives on the border that can walk into Mexico and, do that. So, and then there's the fees, both import fees and taxes, and a lot of times if you buy something off of Amazon, the import fees are just as much as the item. So that's a problem. So definitely when you go to Mexico, if you're going to go there, make sure you don't need anything from the United States. Don't try to ship car parts. Don't try and, modify your vehicle while you're in Mexico. Just don't do it, because you won't have any success, at least in my opinion, right? So the number 3 thing I would say, which is prohibitive or negative, right, about Mexico, is the cost of tolls. I didn't quite realize like how expensive some of the tolls are. I remember I paid a toll that was 400 pesos near Puebla, and that was only one toll out of 5 or 6 tolls that I paid that day. So I know on the road from San Miguel to Puerto Vallarta, I spent well over 100 US in one day on tolls, and it adds up, right? It's 180 pesos, it's 225, it's 65, it's 28. I mean, it adds up. So if you're on a budget, it can be difficult, right? So that is something else. The other thing that kind of goes in line with that is the cost of gasoline. I mean, I know the cost of gas is the cost of gas. I just didn't realize that it was between 21 and 23 pesos per liter, 3.8 liters in a gallon, right? Let's just say 4. I mean, you're talking almost over $4 a gallon. Once again, I didn't budget for that, right? So my fuel cost was double what I anticipated. So you compound that with tolls, you can quickly eat up your budget, right? So definitely be mindful of that, right? So the next thing I would say would be, in certain places in Mexico, the temperature is hot. I mean, I didn't quite realize, like when I went to Victoria, people were like, oh, you wait and see the inferno's coming. And I'm like, how bad can this be? I lived in Houston, in July and August, it gets hot. Yeah. Well, I can tell you that, it was not that long ago in Victoria that it was 108 degrees. That's pretty hot. And next day it's 106. Yeah, it's definitely not what I anticipated, right? There are some great places that San Miguel, temperature is a lot more regulated. Zacatecas, Aguascalientes, temperature is a lot more regulated, right? And I mean, I will say the last thing, I don't think I have it anymore, is the new money. So here's the 10 peso. I don't know if you can see that, right? So this is the 10 peso, and this is the new 20 peso coin that they came out with. I don't know if you can see that or not, but so the thing is, it's very similar. So they also came out with the new 500 peso, which is very similar to the 20 peso. I don't have a 500 peso note on me, but here's the 20 peso note. And the 500 one, it's the same color. So, it's definitely something to be mindful, right? Like, I don't know why you would do this with your coins, right? They're virtually the same size. They're the same color, and once the new 20 peso gets a little faded, it's going to look like the 10 peso. Now look, I know Mexico is not exactly, disability friendly, right? If you have a disability, you can have some problems in Mexico. But if you're blind, I don't know how you can tell this from this, right? I mean, yeah, it's a little bit rigid on the sides, but once this gets worn down, you're not going to know. And could you potentially give somebody 20 pesos instead of 10 pesos? Absolutely. And it's one of those things, it's like, why make it that much more difficult? Like, things in Mexico are hard. There's not a lot of luxury things in Mexico for many people, right? So, now it's just like, now you have to really look at your money, right? You gotta really look at it. You know, so it's just that little bit more difficult, right? It doesn't need to be that way, but is what it is. So anyway, look, I'm going to leave the video here, and I'm going to make the next video the top 5 reasons to go visit Mexico. You know, next couple days, maybe when I'm in Kansas City, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate everybody that watches these videos, that comments. If you need any help, advice, guidance, suggestions, please feel free to reach out, and stay safe.